Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for another game theory community sort of discussion. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. Super chat, PayPal, Patreon, super comment the video. If you want to, if you don't want to, whatever, it's up to you. I'm going to make a very weird comparison today talking about 2XKO. I'm going to probably, I don't know if anyone has ever done this before. I'm going to compare 2XKO to that terrible Street Fighter 2 American comic. And this video is going to be talking about just because you like something doesn't mean you can actually make the thing that you like. Doesn't mean that you should be in charge of the thing that you like, right? Say, I like games besides fighting games myself, right? I like old school Mega Man games. I like RPGs. I used to like Sonic games, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that means that I myself should be in charge of a Mega Man game or a Sonic game or an RPG, whatever? Which could be actually, it could be an interesting conversation. We could talk about, not just fighting games, but maybe you could put in the comments to other people that actually still play Mega Man type games or Sonic games or RPGs. Do you find that those games are still innovative? Right? I mean, at the end of the day, just the genre of video games is probably pretty hard to come up with new stuff. But again, what I'm getting at is just because you enjoy something doesn't mean you should be in charge of something, right? So let's compare this to 2XKO, right? And the Street Fighter American comic. Do you know the Street Fighter American comic? This supposedly was made by people that like Street Fighter. My God. He's got yellow gloves. Wait, sorry, let me say, Ryu has yellow gloves. This is, should they be in charge of this? Ken gets scalped. I mean, this is one ugly looking thing. Have you ever looked at this? I'm old enough to remember this, sadly. I mean, these are people, the people in charge of this apparently he's got yellow gloves. The art is terrible. I mean, it's a travesty, dude, this thing. And this was made by people that, M. Bison, I guess he liked little boys. I don't know who that is supposed to be. M. Bison, who knows what that is supposed to be a reference to? I mean, I think, I guess he's in Thailand or something. Who knows? I don't know. I've never been to Thailand. I don't know what people are into there. Maybe they like keeping pictures of little boys around or something. But hopefully this thing will load. Let me get to the very first thing. Like, look at this. This thing is just, these people, they love, skip ahead. This is an absolute train. I remember this thing. It's so, look at the art. I know we're capping and you're like, are you really comparing this to 2XKO? Just go on a trip down memory lane with me. Like, oh my Jesus, dude. Is it a man? Can you imagine Street Fighter 2, the biggest thing in the world at the time, video game wise? And oh my God, they're just, it makes no sense, dude. There's no art consistency whatsoever, dude. But this is made by a team that supposedly loves Street Fighter, right? God, I think that's a pretty good example of just because you like something doesn't mean you should be in charge of something. And look at the team that is actually on 2XKO. This is a game that has supposedly been being made for 10 years almost, right? Because it originally was some kind of robot game or something. So I guess, was it 9 years ago? So not exactly 10 years, but 9 years ago, right? And this is a game that is being promoted as being made by the greatest minds in fighting game history of America, whatever, right? Even though they all have very suspect credentials, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at this, right? People that work on 2XKO apparently helped make this game, right? This Power Ranger game. Now, I'm not going to show just the Power Ranger characters. I just want to show, let's take for an example, if we're thinking about game theory and designing a character. So let's put this you have a character already. How would you do Ryu? And if you were able to make your own fighting game, think about it from this perspective, because these are the greatest minds in the history of who are making this game. That's how it's being promoted to you. You have an opportunity to make Ryu in your own fighting game. How do you think Ryu is going to play that is just going to be so mind-blowing? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Okay. Okay. Jeez, I mean, I never. It's like a Mugen game. Is this the most amazing thing you've ever? Oh, and you're like, Clayton, you're being a little bit hard on the game. Try to give another example. Okay, I'll try to give another example. Let's look at this one. We'll give it one more combo. Okay? Let's give it one more combo. I mean, I just got to shake my head, especially when people say that nobody cares about combos or something like that. And it's just like, I mean, what this is one of the people making the game, helped design that game. Greatest minds in the history of fighting games. Do you see that and you're thinking, whoa, dude, that is a brand new perspective that I've never thought on games. What an amazing combo system. Everything McJuggles. You have the opportunity to make your own fighting game, and you have the opportunity to have a classic character like Ryu, and you're like, how am I going to put Ryu in my game? What is a brand new perspective that I can try to keep this character appreciative of the lure, but put a new spin on him, right? A new perspective of fighting games, and that's what happens. Does that are you like, God damn, I'm going to hire that guy for 2x KO? I mean, look at the other people that they hire for 2x KO. I mean, I've showed this before, and we can talk about it. You mean the guy that used to think that the stuff I did in games and my life was fake? Remember, he's a guy that he blocked me because I called him out. Oh, yeah. You know, how are you working on games now when you thought everything I did in games was fake and you actually used to joke about leaving me for dead at tournaments? You joked about me dying? That's somebody that works on the team. Now, I want you to think about that. Can you imagine being hired? Can you imagine, let's say, I don't know, who is the person that actually hires these people that work on the game? You're going to hire somebody that jokes about other people dying and thinks that the stuff that I've done is all fake? And they're in charge of making the greatest fighting game supposedly ever with Riot money? Does that inspire confidence in you? Right? 2x KO is filled with a team of people that have questionable at best credentials for even being able to make a fighting game. Just because you like fighting games doesn't mean you have good ideas, right? I said before, what has Yehose done? You could, as a connoisseur of fighting games, you know, I don't catch up on everything nowadays. I don't know everything ever about fighting games, but I have a fair knowledge of the history of fighting games. I don't know what Yehose has ever done in fighting games to make them on this team. They just showed they're one of the greatest minds in the history of fighting games. I can tell you my interactions with this person before was them befriending me when Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, when I was helping everybody with tech. And then I saw they were allowing themselves to take credit for the stuff that I taught them. And then it was like, oh, wait, you hate transgender people? Like, what? If I hated transgender people, why the hell have I ever even been talking to you? What? Pat the Flip? Pat the Flip is just a guy that wrote about video games. He's the guy that used to, again, shout me out for all the stuff I've done in games. Now he doesn't talk about me. Clockwork? Another guy used to shout me out. Talk about me all the time, how amazing I am, all the tech I've done in games. I've asked him before, dude, why can't anybody talk about me now? Oh, I don't know. Marlon Pie? Marlon Pie, again, I beat Marlon Pie when we played in tournaments, right? But if Marlon Pie, you could say, yeah, definitely a competitive player for sure. He's an execution kind of dude, but isn't Marlon Pie, again, correct me if I'm wrong, the same guy that even said that he doesn't like finding tech because it's a waste of time, because there's other people that are good at finding tech. So you're better off using your time. Let the dudes that can find the tech. Then you spend the time that you're actually going to play games practicing the tech to get good at it. Isn't he the same guy that said that? But he's going to be your main guy for coming up with ideas? From top to bottom, this team of people that is making the game, despite being promoted as the greatest minds in the history of the scene, constantly sucking themselves off, right? It's full of people that I used to help, people that I've beat in tournaments, people that now don't want to talk about it, people that have suspect credentials. Just because you like a genre of games doesn't mean that you know how to make one, right? And let's get this clear and don't get this like twisted, right? And I've said this before. I think it's probably hard to make a new fighting game that would be truly unique, full of truly new stuff that has never been done before. I don't know if anybody could do it, right? I don't know if I could do it, right? However, you could say as well, to act like 2XKO is just making brand new characters out of nowhere is not completely true, because they at least have a sort of basis looking at this character. Oh, this could be this character's moves. This could be this character's moves, right? But again, give them a little bit of grain of salt. Can anybody make a truly unique game whatsoever of 100% unique stuff? I don't know if anybody could, right? I don't know if I could, right? And that's me saying as the person that, and again, you can look at it, no one in the history of fighting games has ever put out more tech than I have. From simple stuff that just changes the foundation of games, to predicting the meta of games, you know what I mean? To the actual combo video of stuff. Who has put out more tech and been able to predict all these games than me, right? I have had to been held to a standard that is so absolutely ridiculous, right? That every time I put out a new video, it has to be something brand new, because you know that my haters will try to do anything to cancel it. Just look at that recent video I showed about how often my videos get flagged. Yes, my birthday videos that I just recently made get flagged even. You know what I mean? Anything to get people to not watch my videos. I got to wait for my videos, to get reapproved, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm held to such a ridiculous standard that nobody else is held to. And guess what? I still put out new stuff to this day that nobody else ever has, right? But even me saying that, again, I'm telling you, I don't know if I could make a truly 100% unique game. I don't know if anybody could. But you know what I can tell you? If you watch my game theory videos, have I not actually come up with new ideas that have not been done in fighting games? Have I not, given these new ideas, talked about new perspectives that can actually be put in a fighting game? Right? I have talked about it before. And when I look at 2XKO is a game that is actually being promoted as this, but it hasn't shown it. Despite Riot money, despite almost 10 years of development, despite having an entire team of these supposed greatest minds in the history of the scene, it hasn't actually showed what it's talked about. It talked itself up as being able to do. Even the own developers' interviews, when you've listened to them talk, they said, we don't know what's fun. We keep changing it. Maybe the game should be this way. Maybe the game should be this way. Maybe, you know what? Hey, we have a brand new idea. What's your brand new ideas? We decided to put auto combos. What the fuck? Your brand new idea for the game was you're going to put auto combos in it? You keep showing this game that this is the most amazing game ever, and the ideas, you haven't shown it, dude. Can you imagine if I was given the keys to the castle, let's say, and I was able to make my own game or remake Street Fighter or anything like that? And can you imagine if after 10 years, I didn't show anything? The community would never let me hear the end of it, let alone they have an entire team that has been doing this. Now, don't get me wrong again. This isn't to say that you're not going to have fun with the game, because fun is subjective. And maybe there might even be randomly some kind of things that feel a little bit new in the game once the game comes out. Who knows? I can't say, right? But what I can say is we can see that it's been almost 10 years. And it's an entire team that has sucked themselves off and talked about how amazing this game is going to be, and they just haven't showed it yet. You know that if I was talking myself up that much, the community would never let me hear the end of it. The community, even though I tell them anybody could beat me all the time, and I constantly say I feel lucky that I've won, still talks about what a huge narcissistic asshole I am, supposedly. Doesn't matter how many times I say that people could beat me, I feel lucky that I ever won. No, you're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? When I make my game theory videos predicting these games, I am correct. I have predicted these games. I do make game theory videos actually talking about brand new perspectives that could be done in a game, and I don't even have money. Again, just because you like something doesn't mean that you can actually make it, dude. I don't make videos talking about, I could make a brand new Mega Man game, or I could make a brand new Sonic game, never seen before perspective, a brand new RPG, which again, that might be an interesting conversation for the video. Are there actually RPGs or Sonic games or Mega Man kind of games where there's like, whoa, that's never been done in a game before? I don't know. I'm not sure. But leave it in the comments, But anyway, I thought this was a weird little way to compare this to. You had a team when Street Fighter 2 was the biggest video game in the world that supposedly loved Street Fighter, and they were given keys to the castle. And look at what they did with it. Well, you have a team that talked about how they're like the fucking greatest ever. They were given keys to the castle, and it's been almost 10 years. And what have they done with the keys to the castle? Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. Appreciate it. Thanks. The end.